Mounted and secured with the bolts on the valve cover and no
James Turner,
present.
cab forward.
We have the coolant reservoir, properly mounted and secured the bracket through cats, properly mounted and secured. The level you can check right there, pad if need be. Hoses from coolant are not chafed and leaking, properly mounted and secured with the clamps. Vehicle's ECM, properly mounted and secured to the bracket. Wiring, properly mounted and secured. Wiring is not chafed. Any wires bare that would cause issues. And the vehicle starter, properly mounted and secured. The wiring for the starter, properly mounted and secured. Wiring is not chafed. And any bare wires exposed to oil filters. No leaks, properly mounted and secured. This part of the frame, there are no illegal welds, drill marks, or heat marks. And the steering column is not bent, broken, and no more than 2 inches of free play or 10 degrees. Knuckle bolted to the gearbox. It is properly lubed and secured with this nut and bolt. Steering gearbox properly mounted and secured. The bolts to the frame. Gearbox oil seal is properly mounted and secured into the gearbox, and no leaks are present. We have the pitman arm and the drag link properly mounted and secured and lubed. Neither one is bent or broken. Going to the upper knuckle that goes out. Watch my head. Upper arm into the knuckle, properly mounted and secured. Is not bent or broken. We have tie rod, properly mounted and secured and lubricated, held in place with this nut, the Carter pin. We have I-beam axle, properly mounted and secured by the kingpins and U-bolts on the leaf springs. It is not bent or broken. Leaf springs vertically stacked. No leaf springs are missing, bent or broken. Leaf springs are held vertically stacked by these brackets, front and rear. We have leaf spring bracket, properly mounted and secured and lubed. Leaf spring shackle on the back, properly mounted and secured and lubricated. Tie rod. Brake chamber. Air line coming to the brake chamber. Here, no air loss. ABS sensor, properly mounted and secured. Is out of the way, not rub on anything. The brake chamber, the push rod coming out of brake chamber. Clevis, held in place by clevis pin to the actuator. Actuator, properly mounted and secured and lubricated. Actuator goes to the S-cam, which moves the brake drums.
Pause right there, James. I hate to interrupt you. That's a slack adjuster.
Slack adjuster. Slack adjuster.
Not an actuator, it's a slack adjuster.
Slack adjuster. Got you. Thank you for that.
Carry on.
Slack adjuster to the S-cam, which is actuated and press on the brake pedal and applies the shoes to the drums. To check that, would have the brakes disengaged, vehicle chalked, pull out, and there should be no more than 1 inch of travel when pulled out. Shoes, checking for cracks with the material and make sure there is more than 1/8 of an inch of material lining on the shoes. Drums, checking for, make sure there's no oil leaks or cracks with the drums and they are in proper working order. Wheel assembly, checking inner and outer sidewalls for bulges that would indicate a shift belt. Tread, you're checking for even wear and that there is more than 4/32 of the steer wheel. Have the rim inner and outer, checking for any illegal welds and cracks. And holding the wheel assembly on is 10 lug nuts and lug studs.
Oh, James got a cute bud, ain't he?
Making sure there's no shiny threads on marks
You gotta have fun.
spots that would indicate loose nut. We have the oil cap held in place by 6 bolts, properly mounted and secured. That holds the oil in to keep the bearing lube, and to check that you have a side gauge there, let you know pull in there, or you can pop the plug out, put your finger in there, should be all the wet, let you know that it is properly oiled.
Very good.
Mud flap here, properly mounted and secured to the bracket. The secondary fuel filter to help with the water, properly mounted and secured. Lines are not chafed and leaking. Vehicle's electrical system, properly mounted and secured to the firewall. Wiring is not chafed, cracked, or any bare wires exposed. Have an air valve. Distribution mock, properly mounted and secured. Lines are properly mounted and secured with a chafing or cracks and no air heard to indicate a leak. Another air distribution valve over here, properly mounted and secured. Lines, no air leaks heard to indicate a crack or break in one of the lines. More vehicle wiring, properly secured and out of the way to rub, and no exposed wires, bare wires that would cause an issue. For the other side of the vehicle, another bracket for the radiator properly mounted and secured. Had intercooler tube properly mounted and secured with clamps. Turbo can be a little hot, properly mounted and secured. More of the vehicle's exhaust system, properly mounted and secured with the clamps. Checking the flex part for leaks, so we'll not get up into the cab. We have the other side of the valve covers that we can see, and no oil leaks. Again, properly mounted and secured with the bolts, with the gasket underneath. We have the air box, properly mounted and secured. Lid, pop that out, check the air filter, or replace it if it is dirty. The washer fluid for the squirters to clean out the windshield when we need to, properly mounted and secured, and full of fluid. Power steering reservoir, check that, have the vehicle running, pop the cap out, read the dipstick. Get the dipstick, wipe it off, stick it back in, pull it back out, read the level, add if need be. Lines from the reservoir, properly mounted secured with the clamps. Lines are not chafed, cracked, or leaking. Lines go down to the power steering pump. Power steering pump properly mounted and secured with bolts, and no leaks. We have the AC compressor properly mounted and secured to bolts in the bracket. Lines for AC properly mounted and secured, and no leaks are present. Belt for the compressor, there's no frays or cracks, and no more than 3/4 of an inch of free play. This part of the frame, again, checking for illegal welds, drill marks, or heat marks. We have the mechanically driven air compressor and fuel properly mounted and secured. Air lines and fuel lines are not chafed or cracked with any air loss or fuel leaks. We have the engine dipstick. Check that. You will pull it out, wipe it off, stick it back in, pull it back out, and look at the reading and add if you need be. Have a wheel assembly, brake, suspension assembly over here that is identical to the other side. I can go over that if you want me to.
Omit, please.
Give me a second to review.
And students now reviewing. This is the time that he will
Have the shock
catch his mistakes if
upper
he's
and lower
left anything out.
nut holding in place that I did forget to mention on the other side. So this
See
is
there?
identical to the other side and will be checked in the same way. and go with the cab forward.
Very good. Time 10 minutes 17 seconds. Proceed beside the truck, please.
The truck have the outer door handle properly mounted and secured, functioning. Have the door hinges properly mounted and secured to the cab with no play. We have the door weather strip properly mounted and secured, is not cracked or broken. That would let some nasties in. Grab handle that will be properly mounted and secured. Once we get that top bolt tightened up, it'll be all good. Have the fuel tank assembly properly mounted and secured with straps with rubber underneath. Have the fuel cap that is installed, properly mounted and secured. The sending unit properly mounted and secured, wiring. No exposed wiring. Wiring is not chafed. Lines coming off fuel tank. There's no chafing, cracking. That would allow a fuel leak. Steps properly mounted and secured. Straps to the fuel tank. That battery box lid properly mounted and secured. In there. Need to check or replace the batteries, pull that out, pop the cab off, and we can get to the batteries. We have 2 shocks and an airbag for the cab, properly mounted and secured. It's cross-membered. The bolts underneath. The bell housing is properly mounted and secured. The engine. We have electrical and air lines running down the length of the combination vehicle, properly mounted and secured, and top out of the way, cannot drag. We have 2 drive axles, drive shafts, and universal joints. It's properly lubricated, and the shafts are not bent or broken. This section of the frame, then checking for any illegal welds, drill holes, or heat marks. Water separator for the air system, properly mounted and secured. And air lines going to it, checking for any chafes or cracks, and listening for air noise that would indicate a leak. Another cross member properly mounted and secured to the frame. Air distribution valve is properly mounted and secured to the cross member. Lines again, listening for any air leaks, and they are not chafed or broken.
I heard an air leak.
And just take it to your nearest garage and get that fixed. We have 2 rear end assemblies mounted and secured, and no leaks, no puddles underneath that would indicate.
Would that be a proctologist?
We have gonna have 2 torsion bars. One is adjustable and are properly mounted and secured and not bent or broken. Tire guard assembly, whatever you want to call doohickey.
Fender.
Fender, there you go. That's properly mounted and secured. We have a set of tires that we are gonna have 2 sets of inner and outer sidewalls. We are checking for bulges that would indicate shift.
Notice how James is getting down there, touching everything, really inspecting everything. That's what you want to do on your
and making
exam.
sure there is more than 30 seconds of tread on these tires. There are 3 other sets of these tires that would be checked the same exact way. We can go over that if you want me to.
Omit.
That comes. We have 2 airbags and 2 shocks. No leaks from the airbags. Properly mounted and secured with the bolts here and at the bottom. Shocks have an upper and lower bolt and nut assembly. Properly mounted and secured. No fluid coming from the shock that would indicate a leak. We have the brake assembly inside for the wheel. Got another airline going to the brake.
Show you what he's talking about over there. Walk around the truck to get under the truck.
push rod coming out of the brake chamber. Clevis pin, slack adjuster to the S cams, which pushes the shoes outward to press on the drum. Check that would be the same as the front. We're going to chock the wheel, disengage the brakes, pull out on the slack adjuster, and there should be no more than 1 inch of travel. And leaf springs are not bent, broken, or cracked. Held in place with the U-bolts here. Nuts properly mounted and secured. There are no shiny threads or rust spots indicating they were loose. Shoes, no cracks with the shoe material, and there is more than 1/8 of an inch of lining. Drum, checking the same as the front, making sure there's no oil leaks into the drum that would impede braking, and cracks. And both are in proper functioning operation. Another little air valve here that is properly mounted and secured. Have the wheel assemblies, got 2 inner and outer rims. They're checking the same way. Making sure there's no illegal wheels. Just remembered that I forgot on the front wheel.
What did you say, James?
Valve stem. I forgot about the valve stem on the front wheel.
Okay. Isn't that amazing?
Valve stem properly mounted and secured. No air leaks detected. Check that.
James has got a good technique. He's down there
Put an air gauge on there.
inspecting everything. He's not afraid to get his hands dirty.
Checked at 120 psi. Should be able to grant the add or subtract to get to the manufacturer's listed PSI.
And where is that PSI listed at, James?
Right here, sir.
Okay. On the sidewall. Most of the vehicle is chalked. James is crawling under there to inspect.
Torsion arms. Got 2 taillight assemblies properly mounted and secured. Those have our
No cracks in the lenses or no moisture?
cracks in the lenses to let moisture in. This side. More of the tire assemblies. This section of the frame, checking for illegal welds, strolls, holes, or
I gotta go around the truck again.
More of the vehicle's exhaust, properly mounted and secured. No rust holes that will allow exhaust leaks. Exhaust held on muffler bracket here. Secondary bracket holding it on, all properly mounted and secured. Heat shield for the muffler to make sure you don't put your face up on there and get hot, but you could.
He's from the north. Y'all put y'all's faces on the heat shields.
Another grab handle properly mounted and secured. Secondary fuel tank properly mounted and secured, same way as the other side straps.
Good.
With caps on there. Steps properly mounted and secured. Have 2 air tanks properly mounted and secured. Lines coming off said tanks are not chafed or broken, and here no air loss. These tanks should be drained daily. Mud flap, and let me review.
He's reviewing now. Sides of truck.
Toolbox properly mounted and secured. Any would-be stuff needed in there for emergency or working conditions.
As you can see, we've got extra oil, antifreeze, and top secret equipment in there. Can't really show you. Not supposed to be filming it.
And I'm good with the size.
Okay, continue with coupling system, James. Total time now, 19 minutes, 19 minutes. Go over here to this side again. So y'all think we just go out here and ride around and goof off? We don't. We work.
Coupling system. Starting right here, we have 2 air lines. Blue is the service line, red is the emergency line. They are not kinked up, bound up, frayed, dragging on the catwalk. Proper mounted and secured. We have the umbilical cord for the electrical system to the trailer, properly mounted and secured. Safety little ledge behind this tab here. Pull that up. Pull it on out, checking the female end of the terminals, make sure they are as far forward as can be and no corrosion in the terminals. Cap up, you're checking the male ends to make sure that none of the terminals are missing or corroded and they are all in working order. Reinsert and make sure that the locking tab is fully behind so it cannot be pulled out. All the way back to the trailer. You're not dragging, no leaks. At the glad hand, red being the emergency one, properly mounted and secured. To check that, pull up at a 45 and check there's going to be a seal on the glad hand side and on the trailer side, checking for cracks and wear and making sure there's nothing in the hole that would impede airflow. And the blue service brake line will be checked the same way. Then the electrical part, checking the same as the front and making sure that it is safety tab is locked in so it will not pull out. We have the trailer apron.
Where's the apron at there?
Right here.
Okay.
That they're properly held on with, that's just welded, isn't it?
It's welded. It's welded to the trailer.
Welded to the
frame.
trailer, is not bent or broken. Fifth wheel we're checking. It is level, no air gaps can be seen between the fifth wheel and the trailer apron. We have the release handle that is fully engaged, which is a good thing. We have the fifth wheel pivot pin, which is held in place by the bolt. There should be a New England pin in there, but this is T-dot. We just put a bolt and a nut and pray for the best. We got the fifth wheel platform that is not cracked or broken and is attached to the fifth wheel mounting plate. And this is a sliding fifth wheel with airline going to a little actuator here that will open or close the locking jaws, and you can tell that they are in a lock position now. Tab plate is properly mounted and secured with
Here, no air loss from the airline.
no air loss from the airline. We have 4 sets of bolts and nuts holding the mounting plate to the frame, letting us know that the fifth wheel assembly is properly mounted and secured. Underneath, checking the kingpin, make sure it is not bent, cracked, and that it is fully engaged into the locking jaw, and the locking bar is fully extended behind the kingpin. Everything is properly lubed. We have a adjustment bolt over here to adjust the locking jaws. Make sure it is firmly locked in. This side of the fifth will be checked the same way as that side. And I believe I'm good with the coupling system.
All right, coupling system. Total time down here is 24 minutes. Continue with trailer, please.
Trailer, we have marker light, properly mounted and secured with the rubber grommet. Lens is not cracked, broken to allow moisture in. Itty bitty little plug flap here on top of the fender, properly mounted and secured. Safety red and white tape down the length of the trailer, properly mounted and secured. It is not broken. Don't worry about that little broken part, but it's on there and it's good working order, proper working order. Have the trailer frame, checking for illegal welds, drill holes, or heat spots.
What he was talking about there is, see this sticker here?
Here we got the landing gear, properly mounted and secured. The 10 nuts and bolts. We have 2 landing gear bracket braces, properly mounted and secured. The bolts, nothing is bent or broken. Got the landing gear pin and the landing gear feet is proper working order. We have the tailgate opening and closing switch right there. It is in the closed position right now. Wheel brake and suspension assemblies back here be the same as up there. You can go over one if you would like.
Yeah, why don't you go over one of them there, James, if you would, just for video's sake.
Sure. Again, we're checking, going to have...
I think you might want to crawl under there to go under. There might be a...
inner and outer sidewalls, checking for bulges. That would indicate a shift in the belt. Tread, you're checking for even wear, no rough spots, and making sure that there's more than 2/32 of tread.
Okay.
At the 2 inner and outer rims that you're checking for illegal welds or rust.
What about that thing hanging from the trailer with all those lines coming down from the top of the trailer?
Here we have
what is it?
2 air tanks back here, properly mounted and secured. Air lines coming too. No air loss heard. That would indicate a problem with the airlines making an air leak. And again, those tanks should be drained daily. Lines coming down to the brake chambers. Lines again, no air loss heard, air noises heard. That would indicate a leak. Chambers are properly mounted and secured. Then we got 2 brackets, 2 clamps on each chamber, properly mounted and secured. And the chamber, you got the push rod coming out. Clevis on the clevis pin to the slack adjuster. Slack adjuster's going into the S-cam. That when the brakes pushed, presses the shoes out into the drum and makes you stop good. We check the same way as the front. Vehicle chocked, brakes released, pulling out, and should be no more than 1 inch of travel with the slack adjuster.
What are them big old things that are running the width of the trailer up there? Them big old metal things up there.
Got the leaf spring. Is that what you're talking about?
They're just underneath the floor right there. I see 1, 2.
We got cross members going down the frame.
Cross members.
Properly mounted and secured.
What do they do to the trailer frame?
Keeping the frame straight.
So why in the world, James, would you want to look at, even mention the cross members? What are you looking for?
Looking for any cracks, breaks. Same with the frame, illegal welds, drill marks, heat marks.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Frame square, and that way your trailer's not trying to pass you while you're driving down the road.
So in other words, we haul so much weight that we could possibly crack one of these cross members with the weight we haul, the equipment we pull. So we're just giving it a real good inspection to make sure we're safe.
Yes.
Out there on the roads. Okay. All right. I see what you're saying. And you did mention that you were looking at the airlines.
Yes.
And the electrical.
You see the air and electrical running down the length of the frame.
There you go.
Properly mounted and secured the frame.
There you
up
go.
Out of the way.
Not hanging down.
Not be dragged on anything, catching on anything.
Not pinched. Okay.
The shoe and drum assembly. You check the same way as all the other ones. You can go over that if you would like.
Now you can omit it. You can proceed to the rear of the trailer right there after you tell me about that mud flap there.
Another little mud flap here to catch anything that got past several others in front.
Very important.
Another section of the frame checking for illegal welds, drill holes, or heat marks. And you got the little sticker right there to let you know.
I'll put that sticker right there.
Again, another mud flap to get the people from tailgating you to get a rock chipping up on the windshield, which they probably deserve anyway.
Yeah.
Here we got the
What's
rear
good
marker lights.
Rear marker lights. Oh, we got to squat
9
down
of
and see
them.
them. Yeah.
Properly mounted and secured with the rubber grommets. Lenses are not cracked, broken, that would allow moisture in to cause a short.
Ah, okay.
The dogs,
What are you calling a dog?
this apparatus right here, and it is fully engaged, holding the tailgate closed.
Oh, okay. I see.
Bar right here.